Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sim Auto Racing Association Tundra Super Sim Series presented by Loco Toco Designs. We are at Lanier National Speedway here in Brazelton, Georgia, on a 0.32 mile short track for some super late model series racing. Tonight we have the Hidespride.com Championship 200, and we have a championship battle on our hand between Jimmy Mullis and Joe Schaefer Jr. Joe Schaefer Jr. is currently 18 points back behind Jimmy Mullis, so he's still in this fight, and it is down to these two guys. Currently, they will be starting next to each other as well with this race, and then we'll go over that here just a little bit later. And before we get too much into tonight's festivities, let's go back and take a look at last week where we're at Stafford Motor Speedway, where Tom Majeski showed up and came in and won for his 89th career SARA win, and he still remains undefeated at the Stafford Motor Speedway in any type of car that we have raced here in the Sim Auto Racing Association. He led 101 laps in the domination in the Old School Motorsports 150. Joe Schaefer Jr. finished second. David Krikorian finished third. Ty Spearman finished fourth. And Jimmy Mullis, who is currently your points leader, finished fifth. Hard charger on the night was Zach Novak, who was plus 10 positions from his qualifying. And he was also the top rookie. Monday night, we seen the midgets at Lanier Speedway here, threw some dirt on the track, and myself, Derek Robinson, came out with the win. It was my second win on the season and 25th career overall win. I led 10 laps and had a great battle with David Bodio and Zach Passon. Our three cars were up front, and we were trading positions back and forth there for a little bit. And so Dave Bodio came away second. Third was Zach Passon. Fourth was Greg Netherwood. Fifth was Josh Cotton. And your champion of the Dirt Open Wheel Series was Dave Bodio, who finished 7 points ahead of me and 27 points ahead of third place and Josh Cotton. Tuesday nights, we've seen the UMP's Modified Series finish up their season, where David Krikorian came away as your winner that night. And that was his 32nd career SARA win, and he is also your UMP Modified Series champion. Finishing second on the night and second in points was Jared Bors. Third on Tuesday night was Matt Rolfe. Fourth, Ty Spearman. Fifth, Clay Snyder, and Clay ended up finishing third in points as well. Ty Spearman was your hard charger that night, picking up 5 positions, and the top rookie was Evan Sorensen. That brings me here to tonight for the Hidespride.com Championship 200. Like I stated, we've got Jimmy Mullis and Joe Schaefer Jr. battling out for the championship series here. And we'll see if we can go ahead and get Joe Schaefer Jr. here up in the booth and ask him a couple questions. And I believe he's up here with us now. Joe, thanks for coming up here and giving us a little bit of time before the race starts here tonight. You are currently 18 points back behind Jimmy Mullis. You come off a great week last week where you finished second place behind Tom Majeski, who is with us here again tonight. So how do you feel, or what do you feel that you need to do to maybe come away with the points championship?
I think it's a long shot for me to get it done. Running through the math in my head, I think it's pretty much over with him scoring bonus points in the last session. I don't know, one of those things, you've been chasing a pro driver all season and trying to make ourselves better to run with him, and I think it might be a little bit too late this time, so gonna go up there and try to have a good finish, maybe win the race.
Well, I mean, it's still possible, not counting in the bonus points or anything. I think he had to finish fourth or better if you did win here tonight for him to really capture the championship. So anything still, can happen. But like you said, he is a championship leader. He's actually fastest in practice right now. So even, let's say you don't even win the championship, do you think you still have a winning piece here tonight to win the race?
We'll see how good of a job I do taking care of the right front. My problem here historically has been driving it in too deep and burning the tires off of it early. So, we'll guess we'll race like it's even points and try to win and see what happens, I guess.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on you here. You both are starting next to each other here to start the race. So, it's going to be close, and I'm pretty sure you probably can't get rid of him as much as you want to. But we'll definitely keep an eye on you. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give to anyone here tonight? Is this our season finale?
Yeah, I thank the posse for their help all season. One more week, we'll try to get some good finishes, and good luck to Majeski at Bristol this weekend.
All right, brother. Well, good luck to you here tonight, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for you.
All right, thank you.
That was your guy that's in second place in points, and Joe Schaefer Jr. Let's go ahead and get Jimmy Mollison here. We'll talk to the guy who's on the top spot currently in the championship standings and currently the top spot in the practice sheets here before the actual race starts. Jimmy was going to talking to Joe, and he feels like he's got an okay pace here for tonight for the race. He's pretty not optimistic about the championship based off of the points, but so what's your plan at coming in here tonight to make sure that you do come away as the championship? Or that is champion for the championship?
Just do what I've done all season. Try to get a solid finish. I know coming into tonight without the bonus points from qualifying, I had to finish 4th or better. So I'm still gonna, race like I didn't get any bonus points and try to finish 4th or better, whether he wins or not, just to try to, make it that much more easier on myself. But it's not going to be easy to finish there by no means, and I just got to see how things play out, so we'll see.
Yeah, now you both start next to each other here tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how y'all play, with each other. Joe knows that he's got to put the pressure on, but, like I said, we also stated that you're on top of the practice sheets here, so it seems like you do have a pretty fast pace. So, if you're able to, are you going to try to work your way up to the front and just go ahead and lock everything up and win the race and the championship?
Yeah, that's obviously the goal. I mean, it'd be sweet to win. Kind of running the same package that I ran at Oxford and Sobo, and obviously it won both of those. So it's definitely a good car. Made some late night adjustments with Matt and Taylor, and definitely got this thing way better than it was. And I'm pretty confident that we've got a car that can win the race. But I'm just points racing, really. So if I've got a shot to win, great. But main goal is just to keep the nose clean and come out as the champion.
All right. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on you and see how things shake out. Is there any thanks that you'd like to give since this is our season finale?
Just thanks to you guys for the broadcast. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks to Matt for the league. I really have enjoyed running this season, and I know I'll be back no matter what the outcome of this thing is. Thanks to Joe and everybody that's ran me clean all season. It's been a lot of fun, and good luck to Joe tonight. We'll, battle it out to the end.
All right. Well, good luck to you as well, and we'll see how everything plays out. Maybe we'll be talking to you here by the end of the night.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, brother. That was Jimmy Mullis, and like I said, we got to keep an eye on those two guys. And Jimmy is still fastest in practice. Currently, and Joe's a little bit further down the leaderboard, but he got out there late as the track was already been worked in. But we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for those two guys. We'll go ahead and bring up the series sponsors here. Since this is our season finale for the Sim Auto Racing Association, we'll be taking a few weeks off to create new schedules and get things out there. But without these partners, we could not do any of this. So Tundra Super Late Models, Loco Toco Designs, Midwest Power Source Inc., Hidespride Leather and Sheepskin, who is the sponsor here tonight, Callaway Investments, Epic Media, Art Insurance Options, Back 40 Wraps Inc., Down East Chassis Works, Old School Motorsports, Dr. Noise, Area 52 Designs, Midwest Race Updates, and Dynamic Auto Sports. And like I said, Hidespride.com is the sponsor here tonight. They've been a regular sponsor with the Sim Auto Racing Association across all platforms that we race on. And be sure to go and check them out at Hidespride.com, where they are Vermont's premier leather and sheepskin destination. I mean, they make wallets, gun holsters, backpacks. I mean, they make anything. So definitely go check them out if you're interested in any of that stuff. They make super nice, high-quality stuff. Looks like the field is gridding up here, and we'll go ahead and pull up the grid and go through our lineup. Starting on the pole due to a 9-car invert is possibly the real Kyle Souza. Starting second is Dallas Pataska. Third is DK David Kokorian. Fourth is the league and series admin Matt Rolfe. Fifth, Tim Bills. Sixth, Jared Boris. Seventh, Joe Schaefer. Eighth, Jimmy Mullis. That is the row to keep an eye on. Those are the top two guys in points. 9th is Zach Novak, and rounding out your top 10 is Tom Majeski, and he won last week, so the winner automatically starts 10th, as long as they qualify in the top 10 the following week. 11th is Darnell Hamlin. 12th, the O'Walley vet, Ty Spearman. 13th, Josh Lambert. 14th, Michael Goodard. 15th, Evan Sorensen. 16th, Keith Meneros. 17th, Trevor Edwards. Glad to see him back out here with us tonight. 18th, Matthew Murphy. 19th, Drew Kryback. Round out your top 20 is Matthew Eddy. And as we get ready to go green here, like I stated, the inside line is going to be your top, your best line here. The track can widen out. And you'll see guys running down below that triple dotted line, and then you see them running up in the second groove or third groove. But when we go, we're going to take a real quick break, having some technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Looks like we got things that are straightened out there. You haven't missed anything. We're on lap 6 of 200. Kyle Souza got off to a great start. David Kokorian followed him, coming into second place as Dallas Pataska fell back to third. Right now, currently your top 5 guys are top 5, 6, 7, or 8 are now single file in line. Now, I will say that Tom Majeski was your fastest qualifier here tonight, and he got the invert to start 10th, but it looks like he was not able to grid up. Not too sure what happened there. I know he is racing in the Xfinity Series this weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Roush Fenway Racing and number 64 Mustang. So you definitely have to keep an eye out for him. They have practice tomorrow night and the race Saturday night. But it looks like, unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us here tonight. So we will have a new winner. Will not have a back-to-back winner. Currently, we'll go up here to 5th place, which is Joe Schaefer Jr., as we discussed. He has 18 points to make up over the guy who is currently behind him, and Jimmy Mullis. So if you're Jimmy Mullis, you just want to keep Joe Schaefer Jr. relatively in front of you, where you can see him, and to make sure that that points gap does not get narrowed down. And you'll come away as the Sim Auto Racing Association Tundra Super Late Model Series champion. These laps are clicking off here right around just a shade over 13 seconds. So these boys will get it done quick because we're on lap 12 of 200. There are no tires here tonight. In some races for the SARA leagues, you can take tires. They're few and far between, but some of them you can. Here tonight, you're on the tires that you started with. So you may see some guys take it easy, start logging some laps, not being too aggressive. That way they make sure that they have something in the long run. Looks like pretty much the whole field is single file currently. We go. This is what it is that everyone's kind of just taking their time. As Kyle Souza still leading the way, and David Kokori in second. Dallas Pataska starting to get a little bit of heat from Tim Bills in third. Tim may not waste any time getting around him in his H&H Sun number 37. Looks like Dallas Pataska's finally getting it to where he's being able to hold off Tim Bills. This is definitely a rhythm track, being a little short bull ring as it is. Get out of rhythm just a little bit. You know, the guys behind you can really close down the gap really quickly. Like I stated, everything's single file, and these leaders before too long is probably going to come up on lap down traffic. Yeah, as the Russell Berry is the last one on the lead lap. He's going down to N2, 1 and 2 currently. As the, he's going down 1 and 2 now. The leaders are just coming out of 4, so they're going to catch up to Russell Berry here before too long. And we'll see how it ends up playing out for the leader, which way he goes around him, and see if DK can make some noise and catch up to him, as Tim Bills is going to pass Dallas Pataska now for 3rd. Not too sure what happened there. That's just stacked everyone up, and Joe Schaefer Jr. is now up to 4th place. Jimmy Moles falls in behind him as there is a caution now out on the racetrack. We can pick up who that was. It may have been Drew Kryback here. Definitely not where he started. We'll go back and take a look at this and see what happened as we see Drew Kryback. He gets a little bit of help from Keith Meteros. Keith lets him try to get it collected up, and he just spins across the nose of Ken Moore Jr. That brings out your caution. He's going to get it looped around here pretty quick. Clutch drop it, get going. So it's just a little tough racing deal. Meteros gets up into the left rear quarter of Drew Kryback and turns him around. And for the Sim Auto Racing Association, I say this every week, and it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyways. We do have the gentleman's rule across all series, where if you do cause a caution, you should claim it. You will get the EOL during the race. Try to work your way back up to the front or wherever you were at that point in time that you caused caution. If you do not, the admins do rewatch the races and any unclaimed cautions. Admins will look at it, and if it's deemed to be your fault, you will get an EOL in the results after the race, so it's always best to go ahead and claim it. That may have been a racing incident, and Keith may have come over and said it was his fault, and Drew may have just said don't worry about it. Hard to say. We'll have to see if Keith ends up going back. Currently 16th, 17th on the board. Looks like he did take the EOL as he's dropping down the standings currently, so Keith Meteros claimed that caution, and he's going to go back there, so good for him for claiming it. Currently, Kyle Souza is still your leader, as he was your pole sitter due to the 9-car invert. The 26 laps here tonight. Still a long way to go of 200. Looks like they're doubling up here. And we're back to green. Souza gets off to a good start. David Krikorian's going to try to fill that gap in behind him. Looks like he's going to be clear coming back down to backstretch. Joe Schaefer Jr. is now. There's another caution. Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there on that one. Had some spotters on the track, and they're not too sure what brought out that caution as we just got back to green. Looks like they're just going to have to reset it here and start over. Was our second caution of the night. Beautiful night here in Brazelton. At air temperature is 76 degrees. Track temperature is the same. 4-mile-an-hour winds out of the southwest. Clear skies. So you guys have a beautiful night to get some racing done. Do expect to see the track to change just a little bit. We'll may see some comers and goers as that track does change. Drew Kryback does get the lucky dog after that quick caution, so I'll put him back on the lead lap. It's good to see there for him. Maybe he can work his way back up into the top 20 or even 15. Now, if we do have another caution or two, as most of us know here at Lanier, the pace car does do some crazy things on the backstretch. Being that this is a Mustang, it has a tendency to wreck all of its own. So you may see that thing pop out on the backstretch wall every now and then. iRacing still hasn't fixed that, and that's been a glitch for 5 years. Bet you if they changed it from a Mustang, it'd start working right. We're going to go ahead and double it up here once more. The restart will be on Kyle Souza. He'll have to wait until the pace car gets all 4 tires off of the racing surface, and then he'll be able to push on that loud pedal and let those bald eagles scream. Pace car's off. We are green, green, green. David Krikorian gets a great restart there. He's going to try to give Kyle a battle on the outside. And if there's anybody that can get the outside going before anybody else in the field, it will be David Krikorian. And he's still holding strong. As Souza's going to lead by half a car that lap. Here comes the top side. Souza's trying to straddle the line there. The car might be a little bit tight as they're side by side going back down into 3 and 4. Go ahead and give the lead to David Krikorian. New leader, 66 this lap. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to show his nose and try to get up here. And you got some guys running the apron now. Souza pulled back out in front of David Krikorian. Got a great race for the lead. Souza's led that lap. These guys are trading blows back and forth on who wants to lead the race currently. Joe Schaefer Jr. wants to come up there. You know what he has to do. He has to win. He's put all the pressure he can on Jimmy Mullis. As now it looks like David Krikorian's losing a little bit of ground on the outside. He was super strong on that restart and wasn't able to clear Kyle Souza to get back down low. And now he's going to lose another spot to Jimmy Mullis as he falls in behind him to 4th place. Crazy restart, great racing. See some other guys back here in Dallas Pataska. They're still stuck on the outside, not losing too much ground as Tim Bills and him can't get away from each other. Guys been racing side by side, it seems like all race here as we're on lap 40 of 200. Get some more green flag racing here, and that high line's going to come in. Just behind these two guys is Jared Boris. He had a good Q run tonight as he qualified 4th in the invert. He started 6th. Just behind him is the old Wiley vet, Matt Rolfe and Daryl Hamlin. Take a look here at Daryl Hamlin as H&H Designs super late model Toyota Camry. Running 11th, just outside the top 10. See Pataska just up there in front of them just a little bit. He's starting to fall behind. He's still trying to work in that top side, and so is Trevor Edwards just behind Daryl Hamlin. Spearman's trying to get around Dallas Pataska here. Looks like Pataska's going to finally squeeze in behind Jared Boris and right in front of Ty Spearman. Pataska's still in the top 10, solidly in top 10 in 8th place. Now Daryl Hamlin's starting to get a little heat from Trevor Edwards as Edwards is making some hay here on the outside as Dynamic All Sports Chevrolet, I believe it is. Nope, Camry. Just behind them is Evan Sorensen in the 19 car. So we got a good battle here as all these guys are trying to make their way into the top 10 early on in this race. And you got about 8th on back to 16th. Throw a blanket over them. All within about a second of each other. See Matt Rolfe making his way around Ty Spearman. Go back up front here. Joe Schaefer Jr. is putting the heat on Kyle Souza. We'll possibly see if the real Kyle Souza can stay out front here. How long he can hold off the charging 6 car of Joe Schaefer Jr. And if you're Jimmy Mullis, you're just loving life right now as the only guy that can contend for your championship take your championship away from you is Joe Schaefer Jr. right there in front of you. Mullis doing what he can do tonight. He did say he liked his setup, and the setup on his car is based off his 2 last wins at Oxford Plains and South Boston. So you know he's got a strong piece underneath him. Got Zach Novak in 4th and David Kikorian rounding out your top 5. Out of the frame there a little bit. David Kikorian still trying to work that top side. Got a little bit of room behind him to do so in case he needs to get back down. Zach Novak starts to move up and take his line a little bit. These guys are going to flirt with the outside because you can pick up some time, and once you figure it out that it's starting to pick up time up there, it happens quick, and people pick up on it quickly. As well as you see Mullis moving up there. Oh, another caution here. See if we can see what happened there, as that was our 3rd caution. We've had a couple of lead changes. Looks like it may have been the 32 car, Trevor Edwards. We'll go ahead and take a look at this replay here as he was battling on the outside of Daryl Hamlin. Spearman's in front of him, and it's Evan Sorensen behind him. Looks like Evan just got him the boot a little bit, spun him around. An unfortunate break there for those two as it sends Trevor. Yeah, it's a sends Trevor to the back of the pack, and Evan will probably end up claiming that one too. There's not too big of contact on anyone's part, so both cars should be okay. Just unfortunate incidents is going to move these guys back in the pack here, as it looks like Trevor's going to end up being right around 23rd and possibly even 22nd based on some guys going down pit road once this restart starts, and then Sorensen's probably going to get the EOL. Short track racing, more likely an accident, so they'll move on. We'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll have to see if Trevor makes his way back up to the front as he was doing. He's making that high side work pretty good. That's short track racing for you. Kyle Souza still leading the way as he's led all 59 laps here so far in the Hidespride.com 200. Just shy, or just a little bit over a quarter of the way through this so far. As Kyle Souza did start first here tonight due to the 9-car invert. Like 58 of 60. That's David Kikorian must have got tagged with a couple. I know he had 1 lap led. May have actually led a couple other ones. We've had some good racing here so far tonight. Plenty of action all over the track. We're green, green, green. And Zach Novak gets super loose down the corner. Tim Mills has to check out, gets to the rear of him just a little bit. Looks like he's able to collect it, and everything is kosher as you got the points battle 1 and 2 running side by side. Joseph Schaefer Jr. battling for the lead. See what he can do here on the outside as they go down the backstretch. Going out of turn 4, looks like Joe Schaefer Jr. is now currently your leader. That's first lap led. That's good news for him. That outside is starting to take off as he's trying to almost clear Kyle Souza. Jimmy Moss is going to follow him. Joe Schaefer Jr. does clear him. He goes back down low. As Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to be at the top here. Jimmy Mullis is second. Your guys that are 1 and 2 in points are currently 2 and 1 in the standings. And this is what you want to see. Let these guys battle it out for the win. The only person that doesn't want to see this is Joe Schaefer Jr. because he wants to see Mullis a handful of positions behind him here. Gain as many points as he can, but Mullis isn't going to let it happen as he's still showing strong here tonight. Both these guys made the pass on the outside. Back down low once again. You're Joe Schaefer Jr. Now you're just going to try to lead as many laps as you can and let the cards play out how they may. Now Kyle Souza starting to get a little push here from Zach Novak, David Kikorian. Souza maybe starting to lose the handle on his car here. Like I said, we're just a handful of laps over 4 of the way through this. And right now, you kind of know what you got. Zach Novak's down on the apron. And generally, when I try to run here, or when I run here, I usually like running the apron myself, especially hooking the right rear up on the track just a little bit and have the rest of the car down below it. You can make that work. You can make some time up as these laps go on. And the main group starts to go away a little bit as we have another caution. I'm 100% sure who that was. Looks like it may have been Drew Kryback here. We'll go back and look at the replay. Oh, looks like Ken Moore Jr. is up in front of him, got loose. Trevor Edwards gets into him, and Edwards gets into Kryback. So it was just an unfortunate incident of getting collected into someone else's issues. And that's twice now for Kryback as he goes ahead and pulls down pit road, and he destroys the tire barrier as he does so. Well, not the night that Drew Kryback was looking for. Same way for the 32 of Trevor Edwards as he got caught up in that a little bit. And that's the second incident as well for Ken Moore. And so those guys are having some tough luck here tonight in the back portion of the field. A lot of action to be happening all around here. Unfortunately, the leaders up there were having a pretty good battle, but there's some good stuff that's going on back there too, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Joe Schaefer Jr. is currently your leader as he's led 11 laps here tonight, and his #1 enemy would be Jimmy Mullis, who is currently leading the point series by 18 points coming in here tonight. Before any bonus points were given out prior to tonight, Jimmy Mullis had to finish 4th or better if Joe won the race and had max points. Joe didn't get max points because he did not qualify on the pole. So probably as it stands right now, Mullis can probably finish 5th or better, and while Joe wins, they'll come away as your Sim Auto Racing Association Tundra Super Late Models Super Sim Series champion. Like stated before, Mullis has a few wins under his belt here this season. We're coming back to green, green, green. Someone keeps forgetting to click live. Joe Schaefer Jr. gets out to a good start. Mullis pulls in behind him. Looks like Mullis may try the outside as he has a couple car lengths gap back behind Kyle Souza. And Zach Novak are battling out for 3rd, so he can experiment here pretty early on. Maybe see if he can find a line to gain on Joe Schaefer and get around him. Pull back here for 3rd. Souza and Novak are having a hell of a battle with EK and Jared Boris. That's right, his last name is pronounced Boris. For 5th place. 6th. There's Matt Rolfe and Darnell Hamlin just behind them, so you're going to have about 6 cars for 1 spot here before too long. As this track is starting to widen out, as Jimmy Mullis is going to go ahead and pass Joe Schaefer Jr. for the lead. This is huge points implications as Mullis is trying to look to become the champion and win the race in the same night. Really shown his strength this year. He's made everyone work harder. You've seen some guys who've had slow starts at the beginning of the season start to show their strength towards the end of the season, and some of them have started off strong and fallen back. I think right now the Posse guys have always tried to look for speed, same way with some of the other teams here in the Will and Dillon and T4X. The Will and Dillon guys and T4X have picked up speed this year and caught up to the Jimmy Mullis's and Joe Schaefer Jr.'s. But it's obviously still not enough as Jimmy Mullis has led 4 laps here so far and looking to pull away from Joe Schaefer Jr. Now, if you're Joe, you want to still keep the pressure on Jimmy. You know, maybe force him into a mistake as we have another caution. Looks like they may have been the 10 car of Matthew Murphy. Was facing the wrong direction. We'll go ahead and check the replay out on him. Looks like he was around Donald Clark and Mark Warrior. Goes down in there and just, oh, got doored by Donald Clark. Spun him around, just barely touched him. Looped him around pretty good. And contact boxes on these are a little bit off. But nonetheless, he still got a donut on his left side of his door and spun him around to bring out our latest caution, as we've had 5 cautions and 4 lead changes. Go back live here, as I remember to do it this time. We'll have to see what kind of restart Joe Schaefer Jr. gets here. Starting on the outside, is that where he's made his pass to initially get the lead over Kyle Souza? Or what we lead to believe is Kyle Souza in the 14 car. Jimmy Mullis, you got Zach Novak to start behind you, which is good. Those guys are teammates. Guy I'd keep an eye out for is Jared Boris. He's had a heck of a week, really, and across all of our racing services that we have in the Sim Auto Racing Association. Ran well in UMP, as you know, or as you heard earlier in the broadcast. He finished second in the race this week on Tuesday and finished second in the point series. And actually, who finished ahead of him is David Kokorian, who's currently running 6th. He also ran well in the midgets on Monday. Not too sure how he did on Wednesday night in the street stocks. Or if he probably ran well there as well, as all the races were here at Lanier, as this is championship week. Run all our races the last week at Lanier. As they're doubled up coming down the back stretch here, we're going to be going green. We'll have to pay attention to see what Joe Schaefer Jr. does on this restart and what kind of restart Jimmy Mullis gets. And we are green, green, green. So that restart got stacked up just a little bit. Joe Schaefer Jr. tried to time the restart, lag back just a little bit. That's going to catch the eyes of the league admins. But he's still going to fall in line here quickly behind Jimmy Mullis, as Zach Novak and Jared Boris are going to figure out who's going to come in 3rd currently. Looks like winner of that's going to be Zach Novak. Boris falls in the line with him. Souza's all which way, sideways. He is extremely loose. David Kokorian's on the outside of him, and Matt Rolfe with his Hidespride.com T4X chassis and parts Toyota Camry. He's trying to get around him. Good battle here for 5th. It's the top 4 single file. We're not even halfway yet, as we're working lap 94, coming to 95 of 200. As David Kokorian gets around Kyle Souza there, and now Matt Rolfe is going to try to work over Souza as he moves up into the 2nd lane. We'll see how this ends up working out for him. Short term, he's got a good run on him here on the outside as they go back down into 1 and 2. Kyle Spearman's going to keep an eye on this, because if Matt Rolfe gets around Souza on the outside, you guarantee it that he's going to follow Matt on the outside. Matt is inching closer and closer up to the door, on the outside of the door of Souza as they go down the back. One of the best battles here on the track currently is Matt is creeping up on him ever so slightly. Here goes Matt Rolfe on the outside. We'll go ahead and go on board with Matt Rolfe. We'll see how he's getting it done here on the outside, which, as you see, Souza pulls up in front of him on entry. So Matt's letting it off early to get a great drive on the outside. Looks like he might have him cleared coming out. And he does. He clears him. Pulls down low. Oh, Spearman gets turned around there. You may have seen that in the rearview mirrors of Matt Rolfe as we were riding on board with him. Ty Spearman gets looped around. We'll have to go back and see exactly what happened with that. But the old Wily vet was pointing the wrong direction. Go back and watch this replay here as Ty Spearman was watching these two guys and Kyle Souza and Matt Rolfe battle it out. Like Spearman, as noted, and he got tagged just a little bit by Kyle Souza. He just get pitched down to the inside wall. That is a super tough break as Ty Spearman was minding his P's and Q's here tonight, just trying to work his way up into the top 5. And incidental contact between him and Kyle Souza spins him around, and it actually hurts Kyle Souza too, as both these guys were now towards the back of the field, as it's currently showing Ty Spearman in 23rd and Kyle Souza in 25th position. That's a tough break for the posse driver and for Kyle Souza. As that was our 6th caution here tonight, we've had 4 lead changes in the Hidespride.com Championship 200. And currently your leader is your series points leader in Jimmy Mullis. Currently in second is the guy that's currently second in points in Joe Schaefer Jr. Third is Kyle Souza, or excuse me, third is Zach Novak. Fourth is Jared Boris. Round out your top 5 is David Kokori, and David Kokori and Zach Novak are battling out for the 3rd position in point standings, as David Kokorian has the 3rd position currently and is ahead of Zach Novak by 14 points. So, you know, the guys that are in the top of the series point standings are conveniently running in the top of this race. As we're doubled up here, we're about to go back to green. Jimmy Mullis is your leader. He has control of this restart. We'll see if Joe cleans up his restart here. It doesn't lag back as much as he did last time, as he may have gotten a warning from the league admins. But Joe's doing what he has to do to get off to the best restart that he can. So we're back to green, green, green. That was a great restart as Jimmy Mullis spins the tires a little bit. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to have a nice little run here on him on the outside. We'll see if he's able to make any hay and make some passes like he did to Kyle Souza. We are doubled up through the whole field. Flagman, throw the green flag again. These guys looks like they're doing at-speed pace laps. Now Joe Schaefer Jr. falls in behind Jimmy Mullis. Novak and Jared Boris are battling it out. Like I stated, keep an eye on the 46 car. Someone give that man a sponsorship in the all-black car. Now it looks like that Jared is able to get a small run. He might even try to peek his nose on the outside of Joe here. That is super close between Novak and Jared, going down into 3 and 4. Give 3rd place to Zach Novak that lap. It looks like the top side, Ken, comes in pretty good on the initial green flag run. But as we get about 10 laps in or so, that top side maybe goes away just a little bit. The DK that's showing his nose underneath Zach Novak. So now if you're Novak, you got a guy who's looking low, you got one that's high, your eyes are in the mirror, the eyes in the windshield. Busy man in there right now, as Jared is hanging tough here on the outside. We're on lap 114, coming to lap 115 of 200. Front 2 have pulled away from this group here, but these guys are still running side by side, running comparable lap times clearly as they cannot get away from each other. David Kokorian settled in behind them to let these two battle it out, as he has nowhere to go, even if he is faster. See if we can go on board here with David Kokorian and see what it looks like out of his windshield as these two guys are. We got another caution, so let's not have fun. Looks like it may have been Ken Moran again. And maybe Daryl Hamlin. Daryl Hamlin's back there. We'll go ahead and see if we can catch a replay on him. Go ahead and watch this replay here and see what happens as Daryl Hamlin is battling with Ryan Matthews and Dallas Pataska. Like Hamlin, that was tight. That was tight racing. Hamlin gets turned. Oh, then Matthew Eddy, Mike Eddy's his dad, gets turned right down in front of Daryl as he checked up. And apologize to Ken Moore in there. I caught the tail end of that, so I thought he was in that, and he was not. Daryl Hamlin gets the raw end of the deal both ways as he gets contact from Dallas Pataska, or he came down on Dallas Pataska, depends on who you're a fan of. And then Matthew Eddy gets turned down right in front of Daryl Hamlin as he's getting it corrected and started to go take off there again. We've seen a lot here tonight where you've had guys push up a little bit on entry and center of the turn and just get into someone's left rear quarter or even into their door in one instant. It doesn't take much to turn these cars around. Either way, it's exciting for us here at SARA TV. And after this, you want to stop by the SARA TV van or even come down to some of these guys' haulers. We're going to have a party. This is the Hidespride.com Championship 200. It's the last race of the season. We're taking a 3-week break. Full night here in Georgia. Come say hi. Even take a picture or two with some of these guys. We got a stool for Joe, so that way everyone can have a comparable picture with him. As we're coming back to green, about to come back to green, pace car will pull off here. Restarts on Jimmy Mullins. As you see, Joe Schaefer Jr. fall back a little bit, but that's going to give an advantage to Jared Boris here. They go down into 1 and 2. Not too sure if that was wise on Joe Schaefer Jr.'s part. He's won more races than I have, and he's currently running second or third in this race and second in the series standing as Jared Boris gets extremely loose there out of 4. It's a great save by him. But man, it is checking up everyone behind him. As they fan out going down here into 3. They're 3 wide. Oh, Tim Bills gets into the 35 of 100. Looks like he keeps it going. And they are still 3 wide. Oh, Trevor Edwards just gets turned by Josh Lambert, and that was caused from Boris all the way up in front of them, getting loose and stacking everyone up behind them. There's only so many places you can go. We'll go to Trevor Edwards here and take an instant replay look at that, as that was just bedlam ever since Boris got loose coming out of turn 2. If you look at this replay, you can see there in front of them, and Bills gets into Goodard. Edwards checks up. There they are, 3 wide, going down into 1 and 2, still 3 wide. Lambert was there, and I think Edwards just kept coming down, maybe not realizing that he was there because there was so much going on. Not sure if the spotter was able to keep up with all the action on the track, or even if Edwards can look up into his mirrors and see that someone was there, or he could have even been looking for a break, someone to give him a break to let him in. Tough to say exactly what happened. That's the second time that he's been around, if I'm not mistaken. Restarts are getting more and more interesting, where generally we have 125 to 150 lap races here for the Super Late Model Series, the Tundra Super Late Model Series, and for the Sim Auto Racing Association. So with these really short gears that are in these cars, most of these guys are probably running 4th gear setups. At these restarts in 2nd or 3rd gear, you can spin the tires, as these cars have a ton of power, not a lot of tire underneath these cars either. With all that power, good amount of torque on them as well. We've seen Melissa spin the tires, and we see Jared Boris getting loose here. All right, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to be right back. Do not go anywhere, as we're on 129 of 200 coming down to the end of this race. we're back here. Jimmy Moss is still leading the way with Joe Schaefer Jr. and Zach Novak rounding out your top three. Sorry about the inconvenience there. We're having some technical difficulties once more. I think we have them all ironed out here as we will stay with you for the rest of the way for the next 55 laps. Looks like things are starting to spread it out here just a little bit. As the top three have pulled away, David Krikorian's fourth and Jared Boris is fifth, Matt Wolf sixth, Ryan Matthews seventh, Dallas Pataska eighth, Tim Bills ninth, and Jason Tarasenko rounds out your top 10 here tonight. We have had 8 cautions and 6 lead changes. Your top 2 in points are currently running 1-2 on the track. Looks like the majority of the field has finally settled in as we've had some crazy restarts and some great action on the track. Go back here to Matt Rolfe as he's looking underneath Jared Boris. Boris is going to let him go. Matt Rolfe up to your top 5 here tonight. Did qualify 6th in qualifying. Did have that 9-car invert, so he actually ended up starting 4th here tonight. Like I said, Tom Majeski was your pole sitter. He was relegated to 10th place after winning last week, dominating last week at Stafford. He was unable to grid with us here tonight. May have had to get on his helicopter and go to his plane and head off to Bristol. Go back here to the 19 car of Evan Sorensen, having a great battle with Jason Miller. The 55 car just behind them is Scott Austin in 05. Dickon Sorensen's car there. It's a good looking paint scheme. These two guys, is the best battle on the track. Running side by side. Like both of them are fighting some handling issues. But this is for the 12th place spot. Sorensen looks like he's going to finally pull out in front of Jason Miller for 12th place as he pushes up just a little bit in the center. Just going to pull away from him here down the back. Go up here to Dallas Pataska running 8th as him and Ryan Matthews are having a great battle for 7th spot. Pataska's looking underneath him. There's Tim Bills. He got caught up in that early accident, made his way back up here into the top 10 and 9th place, currently looking to advance further up than that. Just behind them is the 29 car, Jason Tarasenko. I haven't talked much about him here tonight. Tarasenko did start. He actually started 29th here. He was second to last. Now he's up here into the top 10. So a heck of a night for him. Pretty much keeping his car clean as Pataska ends up going to fall back here to battle with Tim Bills. Try to hang on to his 8th place spot. Like Bills is going to try to work him over on this high side and get around him. Tarasenko can't figure out which way he wants to go. If he wants to go down low, if he wants to go up high. If it were me, I'd probably follow Bills on the high side. As Bills is starting to get the better end of this battle with Dallas Pataska. Go back here to Daryl Hamlin and Kyle Souza. What I've been watching, it looks like that Daryl Hamlin and Kyle Souza have been trading paint. You guys have a good battle going on for the, we're battling out here for 17th place. Obviously not where these two guys wanted to be, as both of them are running up front early on this race, and circumstances put them back here. If you've been watching us tonight, or been with us watching us all night tonight, you've seen guys get into each other on the entry of the corner. They'll be pushed up into them. They'll get into their left rear or into the door. They'll claim the EOL and go into the back of the pack. And Tim Bills was actually taken out there, and he made his way back up. These two guys have not been fortunate enough to do that. And if you look just outside of the camera there, you'll notice the 40 car Jimmy Mullis. That's your leader. As he's coming down to these guys to lap them down. Joe Schaefer Jr. is just a tad. He's a second off of Jimmy Mullis. So if you're Mullis here, you don't want to push too hard to get around these guys, as you have a point cushion that you would love to keep at 18 points. Who's super loose there in front of Jimmy Mullis. See Russell Berry there kind of move up a little bit for Mullis. Mullis going to make his way through here. Dews is going to stay up high as well. Giving the leader and the championship leader plenty of room. Obviously, as anyone does not want to influence the outcome of the championship or this race. Joe Schaefer Jr.'s. Where's he at now? He's in 5th place. He is losing spots left and right as the car is just starting to go to hell. Apparently, we talked to him pre-race, and he said he had to take care of that right front. And judging by the look of it, the right front's beat up a little bit, but he may have used his stuff up here to try to keep up with Jimmy Mullis. If you look at Matt Rolfe here, is up to 2nd place currently. This guy's making some hay here late in the run. He may have something for your leader. As you see him running down the apron, Zach Novak's behind him, and David Krikorian behind Zach Novak. This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, battling for 2nd spot. Matt's got a teammate, Russell Berry, there in front of him. Russell's probably going to give him plenty of room. Matt's going to tell him he's going to go pass him on the outside. Russell's probably going to stay down low, if I had to guess. Oh, moves up for Matt. Is there 3 wide coming off the turn? This is going to be tight. Matt's going to run the apron where no one's been running tonight, so there's no rubber laid down there at all. And like I said earlier, that's why I like running down there, because no one runs down there, and you can have some grip if you have a long green flag run, which we have had here towards the end of this race, as we're going to be on lap 175 of 200. We'll see if Matt Rolfe can run down Jimmy Mullis. Matt Rolfe finally has a clear track in front of him, and after this lap, we'll see what kind of lap times these guys are running. See how quick Mullis is or isn't compared to Matt Rolfe. And it looks like Matt Rolfe is about 0.02 of a second faster than Jimmy Mullis. Now he's about that much slower. These guys are going back and forth on lap times. We have a late race caution here. It will be interesting to see how things play out as Darrell Hamlin, who's Matt's teammate, moves out of the way for him. He's got Samuel Roush just in front of Matt. That last lap, Matt Rolfe was faster than Jimmy Mullis. They were running super comparable lap times. Mullis was faster than Matt, so they're going back and forth. It's like a boxing championship match. Guys are just hitting each other with everything they got. But if you're Jimmy Mullis, clearly you're going to be the one that's come out on top, as you're probably going to be the Sim Auto Racing Association champion here tonight, as Joe Schaefer Jr. still in 5th place. That's obviously not what he needs to close down that gap. For Jimmy Mullis, you're doing the walk-off. It's like a walk-off home run for you here tonight. You're trying to win the race and the championship all on the same night. As we have a caution, changes everything here. As we have a caution, this is not what you want to see if you're Jimmy Mullis. It looks like it may have been Jason Tarasenko in the 29 car that was facing the wrong direction. Unfortunate for him, as he started 29th here tonight to match his car number to work his way up into the top 10. We'll go ahead and take a look at the instant replay here on Jason Tarasenko. And he may have gotten caught up in someone else's mess. See what happened here. Oh, it's Pataska, yep. Pataska gets loose on the entry. Tries to save it. Tarasenko had nowhere to go. He's already committed to the bottom and just doors Dallas Pataska. I mean, that's the racing deal there, unfortunately. And that's a tough break for Jason Tarasenko. It's like I stated, he started 29th here tonight. Made his way and kept his car pretty much clean all the way up into the top 10. And Now he's got it parked on pit road, so that's a tough break there for them. Kudos to him for running as well as he did here tonight. Hopefully see him back here next season in his 29 Super Late Model. We go back live. Jimmy Mullis is going to be your leader here to take everyone back to green as we're on lap 185 of 200. As we've seen in prior restarts, the outside line has had some grip in it for like the first 10 laps, which we're going to have about 13 to go. We go back green. See what Matt Rolfe can do as they were trading lap times of who would be faster back and forth over these last few laps. Mullis started 8th here tonight due to the invert. He's led 105 laps as well. We get the 1 to go. Might have a delayed green pin here. Cinco can get his car started as he's trying to come back out here. Nevertheless, we're going to watch this restart and see what Matt Rolfe and Jimmy Mullis can do here. As we are back to green, 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 Matt Rolfe gets off to a great start. Jimmy Mullis spins the tires just a little bit as they go down into 1 and 2. Coming off of turn 2 here, looks like Rolfe gets a little bit loose. Mullis is going to have Matt Rolfe cleared, and Zach Novak is going to try to fill that spot for P2. Still not over as Matt Rolfe is still battling on the outside. And Zach Novak are side by side as they go down into 3. Come to lap 189 of 200. Looks like maybe a little bit of contact between Zach Novak and Matt Rolfe. We have another caution here. This is going to give us one last restart. If you're Jimmy Mullis, this is not what you want to see. You want this thing to go green so you can pull away. That may have been Russell Berry or Dallas Pataska. Go ahead and watch this replay here. See what we can find. We're looking at Russell Berry. His car's pretty straight there, and as we've seen it there on live TV, it was not. Well, he got involved in this one way or the other. Looks like Pataska was spinning again. Russell just locks it up as we run a lot of rear brake in these setups more often than not. Just loops around and gets into Pataska. So Pataska's night is just going to hell in a handbasket pretty quick. It looks like Zach Novak did get around Matt Rolfe. This is going to be interesting to see here. You got teammates that are starting 1-2 on this last restart as we're at 9 to go. We're more likely going to have about 7 to go when we go back to green. Matt Rolfe is going to be starting on the inside, which is where you're going to want to be starting at, it appears, on this restart. It means that the teammates are starting 1-2. Guarantee it that Novak is going to know when Mullis is going to go. So it could create some havoc for Rolfe trying to get up to Mullis and maybe around him for the win. Had a great race here tonight at Lanier Speedway. Had great races all week here. As this track always puts on great races, whether it's the pavement version or the dirt version. We'll see how this one's ended up playing out tonight, but if you're Jimmy Mullis, everything has gone according to plan as you've led the most laps here tonight. You out-qualified the guy that's second in points. You're currently leading the race, while the guy that's second in points is currently P4. He made his way back up to 4th as he fell back to 5th in Joe Schaefer Jr. But if you're Joe, you need you need a miracle. You need a miracle on ice, you need a Hellmaker, you need Doug Flutie out there throwing you the football for a touchdown, try to win, but we'll see how this plays out. As Jimmy Mullis is the control car, and we're back to green, green, green. Spins the tires maybe just a little bit, and you get a good restart out of Matt Rolfe as they go down to 1 and 2 with 6 laps to go. Mullis is going to have the field cleared. They go down in 3, coming to the line. We got 5 to go. If you're Jimmy Mullis, you can go ahead and take another quick caution here right now. Get to the line 4 to go. The next flag pretty much will end this race. Matt Rolfe and Zach Novak are having a heck of a battle. Rolfe looks a little bit tight here early on in these restarts, so he's not able to make as much room as he was before. coming to 3 to go. Next caution, that should do it here for tonight. We'll have to see exactly how that plays out, but that should do it here. Looks like Matt Rolfe was credited for second on that, and Zach Novak's going to be third as we're waiting for the pace car. Like I stated earlier, the Mustang, it does some crazy things. For Jimmy Mullis, you may want to watch out. It's been known to wreck things or people. And this is going to do it here tonight, as Jimmy Mullis will be the winner here tonight for the Hidespride.com 200, and he will also be your 2018 Tundra Super Sim Series presented by Loco Toco Designs champion. Night for Jimmy Mullis. It's exactly what you wanted, to go ahead and put fate in your own hands and go ahead and win the race, so that way you can claim the championship. At 120, going to be 121 laps when it's all said and done. So congratulations to him on his big win here tonight and the series championship. Joe Schaefer Jr. will be second in the championship, and third should be David Kikorian. As we had an exciting race here tonight for 200 laps of the Tundra Super Sim Series Super Late Model action. And your winner here tonight at Lanier National Speedway, Jimmy Mullis, comes away with his 4th win of the season and did it in dominating fashion. David Kikorian goes up there and gives him a little nudge. The guys start congratulating him. There's Zach Novak. If I had to guess, Jimmy Mullis is going to come out here and burn it down. Do a little victory donuts. As Racing Virginia Toyota well, don't go anywhere. We'll go ahead and get driver interviews. We'll definitely speak with Jimmy Mullis. We'll try to get the top 3 in here. May even see if we can pull Joe Schaefer in here afterwards as well. See if we can get an interview with him. We may or may not. No promises there, but we had a great race here tonight as we had 11 cautions. We had 6 lead changes, and we've seen side-by-side racing front to back. Maybe a few too many cautions, but this is a tough race. This is the last race of the season. Everyone's trying to get what they can, build a little momentum going into next season, which should start up in roughly 3 weeks. And if you want to come and come out here and race with some of these guys, go to Sim Auto Racing Association's Facebook page, or go to racesara.com and sign up for any of the 4 leagues that we run in the Open Wheel Series, which runs the Dirt Midgets, 410 non-wing sprint cars on the few occasions, the UMP Modified Series, which will run the super late models on the dirt on a few occasions for triple headers. We have the Callaway Investment Sportsman Series for the street stocks. And then we have what you've watched here tonight and what you've probably watched with us for about the past 10 weeks or so, in the Tundra Super Sim Series. Like I said, if you want to sign up and race with some of these guys, which are the best super late model drivers on the service, plain and simple, you come here, you're going to get run for your money. And you're going to battle guys like Jimmy Mullis and Matt Rolfe, David Kikorian, Joe Schaefer Jr., and even Ty Majeski comes out here and plays with us every now and then. Go ahead and see if we can get an interview. We got 2nd place driver in here, and Matt Rolfe. We'll go ahead and get him. Matt, you came away with a really good finish here tonight in 2nd place. We watched you work your way up through the field there a little bit. Had a couple of late cautions, and it seemed like it affected your car negatively compared to others. But why don't you tell us overall how your night went?
Yeah, it was maybe we got a couple too many cautions there, but overall it was pretty good racing up front, a lot of side-by-side racing. And I think if we had got some longer green flag runs, I think you would have seen, more of the outside groove being used, more of the apron being used. Guys can kind of spread out a little bit as the race goes on. So, early on we just had enough of those cautions that kind of broke the runs up where it was kind of hard to make up ground, kept getting stuck on the outside. And because I was on the outside and we were having those short runs, I just never was able to kind of make it fully work out there. You could kind of hold your own, but once I got a chance to get down to the bottom and we had that decent green flag run after halfway, I was able to just roll through the corner and make my way under some guys that seemed like they were struggling or falling back a little bit. So that was pretty fun, kind of working my way up through there. And then by the time I got up to second, I think my tires were just about gone. It was all kinds of loose on exit, just using the right rear a little bit too much, I'm guessing. And then on the restart there when I was in second, it was pretty sideways next to Jimmy, and he was able to get back in front and kind of just got stuck with those last couple restarts. But it was fun. I think I had a pretty good car overall, maybe a couple tweaks, and it would have been right there with Jimmy.
Well, we've, being I'm your teammate, we kind of know the things that we work on setup-wise, but it looks like that's, as I stated early in the season, like the T4X crew, maybe even the Will and Dylan crew is off a little bit from the Jimmy Mullises and the Posse and, the Dynamic Auto Sports guys and everything. But here we are late in the season. As you made your way back up, you've been running consistently here in the top 5, so it seems like you found some ways. So as you think there's any momentum that you've built up here late in the season that can translate going forward into next season?
Yeah, I think so. We started working on a new version of the setup. A lot of the time we kind of get in the sessions and we kind of just reuse the same things year after year, especially when the car doesn't change. You kind of get something that you like, and so once you like a setup, it's kind of hard to go away from it. So we kind of got in the habit of kind of just using the same stuff over and over again. But these last few weeks here, we've been working on some new stuff, trying some different things, and it seems to be working. I think we still got a little bit to figure out with it, and I believe there's some changes coming in the next build for these cars anyway, so probably by the time we figure that out, it'll change again. But yeah, we're starting to hit on something a little bit here. Hopefully we can use that for a few weeks next season, but it's pretty for me, it's fun to kind of finish the season off on a strong note and run up front more often than I was earlier in the season, so that's been good.
Well, yeah, it's been awesome to see, and especially, like I said, being your teammate, it's obviously good to see that some of this work's paying off. But let's go ahead and take your driver cap off. Let's put your league admin hat back on. And overall, the series this year, there was a lot of great racing side by side. We are taking, I think, a 3-week break after that. So what do you think that can happen here going forward for next season? What do you look forward to, or what's some new exciting things that can pop up?
Yeah, so this season started off a little rough. We had couple races early on that had a bunch of cautions, but once we kind of settled in and figured it out, we had a long string of races here that were really good. Guys started getting used to running with each other and getting into the habit of racing side by side and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. We go to, I try to put a lot of tracks in the schedule where it allows us to run side by side and allows us to be able to pass. So that was fun. And then, yeah, moving into next season, we're going to change things up a little bit. This series will basically remain the same as far as being the premier series here at the Sim Auto Racing Association, the top super late model series. And in my opinion, on all of iRacing, we got a lot of the top guys here. That's not going to change, but we're going to make a couple changes, and I think we're going to add a second super late model series. We get pretty good car counts. There's a lot of guys that either struggle at the back of the pack or they struggle to make races. Or I think there's even a decent amount of guys that don't come race with us because they don't think they can compete. So we're going to add a secondary series and kind of get those guys up to speed a little better, hopefully. And hopefully that improves everything on the super series side as well. So I'll have more information on that in the next couple of weeks. So that's something to look forward to. We're kind of excited about that to see how that works. But yeah, tonight in this season, great season overall. Jimmy Mullis obviously had a great season, couple wins here. I think 4 wins on the season, so that's impressive and did a hell of a job. Joe Schaefer's pretty good in these cars, so if you're Jimmy Mullis and you can beat Joe, that's something to brag about. So nice job to him. Congrats on the season.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for taking some time out here. Great run here tonight. And before we let you go, this is the series championship week in this last race here for a little bit. So is there any thanks you'd like to give to any of our sponsors or any of your partners or friends or what have you?
Yeah, big thanks obviously to all the sponsors. Tonight's sponsors, Tundra Super Late Models, Loco Toco Designs, and especially Hidespride. Hidespride has been a partner of ours for at least a year or two now, it seems like, and they're stepping up to support us. Mark Royer, appreciate him, and we're going to be doing some things with him next season as well, so that's pretty cool. So, as always, thanks to the sponsors. I got to thank the T4X teammates, Daryl, Derek, you and Clay, Russell, Scott, Jared helped out this season towards the end of it, so that was, he might have been the reason why we improved our stuff a little bit. So, big thanks to the teammates. And yeah, that's it. Great season overall. Hopefully we'll be right back here next season with you guys on Thursday nights. Should be fun.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Well, congratulations again. Thanks for everything that you do, and we'll catch you later.
All right, thanks.
All right. League admin, Matt Rolfe, finished second here tonight. Great run. We'll go ahead and pull in Zach Novak here, who finished third here tonight, had a great run, and seemed that his teammate there came away at P1. I believe you're going to end up finishing fourth in the points here tonight, Zach. But before we get into that, why don't you tell us how your night went?
Yeah, the car was really solid all night. We made a quick adjustment before the race. That I think really helped the car overall. But we started ninth. I think that was probably one of our better qualifying efforts this season, if not the best. And just worked our way to the front. And I knew I'd have a pretty decent shot at a good finish, let alone the win. Just because of how well we ran here last season. So, this was a race I circled on my calendar that I wanted to run well at, and we finished third. So.
Yeah, there was some great racing that was going on there tonight. It looks like the bottom was the main line. Some guys did get caught out on the outside, and some of them made it actually work. Did you have a preference where you wanted to be tonight, or where your car worked the best?
I liked it on the bottom early on, probably I'd say first 100 to 150 laps, but at the end there, I really liked it on the outside, and that's where I was making up a lot of my time. I don't really think anybody else could make the bottom work as good as Matt could there at the end, so I think I was one of the better cars on the outside, and that's just where it felt most comfortable.
All right. Well, like I stated, you're finished fourth here in the point standings for the Tundra Super Sim Series, and had a good battle there with David Kokorian, who ended up coming away with third place in the points, if I'm not mistaken. So great job there. Will we be able to see you come back with us next year, or next season, should I say?
It all depends on how everything works out, but if I am back, we'll have some new colors on the car and just maybe a new number, depending on how that all works out. So we'll see how these next few weeks go.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. And before we get you on your way, is there any thanks that you'd like to give here, since it's our season finale?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my teammates at Lockdown Racing for everything they do across the sim, not just in this series, but especially Jimmy and Matt Bontempi for all the hard work they do on these cars. Like I said a few weeks ago, I just drive these things. They do a lot of the back of the work behind the scenes. So I just drive them to the best of my ability and try to get the best finishes I can to represent them well. So thanks to them, thanks to Loco Toco Designs for all of their support with the series and myself in general. Lastly, big thanks to Sim Speed Shop for all their support. Also, thanks to you guys for doing an excellent job on the broadcast, and lastly, thanks to Matt for all he does to provide awesome racing in this league. It's really a lot of fun.
Well, I will say that me and Clay do enjoy doing this, as Clay is the producer here for SARA TV, and I enjoy doing the broadcast. It's much more fun being up here at times than getting my ass whooped there on the track by guys like yourself. But yeah, hopefully you do come back and join us next season. You're a hell of a wheelman. It's always a joy watching you out here racing, and if you do come back, good luck to you next season.
Thanks, Derek. Nice talking to you, man.
All right, you too, Zach. Zach Novak, who came away in third place here tonight, fourth in your point standings, but we'll go ahead and pull in the guy who did the walk-off here tonight as he came away with the race win and the series championship, and Jimmy Mullis. Jimmy, congratulations on both the race win and the championship here tonight. You dominated here once again. You said you thought you had a pretty good car based off of prior setups and prior wins at tracks that are similar to this. So why don't you tell us how your night went and kind of like your mindset once you got out front?
First off, thank you. Honestly, with starting as far back as I did, the whole plan was just to follow Joe and everything that he did. And that's pretty much, how it went. And when we got out front, I was just going to wait for him to make a mistake. And I I still don't understand what he was doing. He like moved to the second lane and let me get under him, and my car was rotating like crazy. I don't know if he was going to try to fight me or, what he was planning on doing. But once I got out in clean air, that thing was just a rocket ship, like it has been at every other track that it's won at. And I don't know what I found at these flatter, shorter tracks, but it's definitely showing that it's strong, and hopefully I can bring it into next season and maybe make it work at a couple different tracks.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. Now, now that you're the series champion, if you'll be coming back and joining us here in just a little over 3 weeks for the next season or not. Obviously, we would love to see you come back there with your Dynamic Auto Sports team. So is that looking like a possibility?
Absolutely. I don't know about Dynamic Auto Sports.
Or is that not? I'm sorry.
Racing yet.
There
You're good. But yeah, definitely I'll be back. I know Zach said it's kind of questionable for him based on a couple of reasons, but I definitely want to keep running because I, enjoy running this stuff, especially in this league. You got the best of the best running in here. I think if we had a short track pro series, you'd see about at least 80% of these people in there. So that says a lot, and I really enjoy the competition. And all season it was really tough to try and beat Joe and beat everyone on the posse. I mean, them guys are, really good. And I'm not taking anything away from people like Matt or anything like that. But, I mean, you got a whole team that's just strong,
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
It means a lot to come in here and, win the championship in my first full season. And hopefully I can come and defend it next season. But, yeah, it's really cool to do this.
Well, it was, like I said, for me, for doing the broadcast, and everyone that was watching, I'm sure they got as much enjoyment out of it as I did to watch you come out. There were some stink shows that you put up there, which is always great if you're the team or the race car driver that's able to do that. But, you ran everyone clean this year. You and Joe had great battles for this championship, and it's well-deserved that you got this first one, and we do hope that you are able to come back next season. But with that being said, this was the series finale here tonight. Is there any thanks that you'd like to give for anyone that it's able to help you and give you support?
Yeah, I need to first give a huge thanks to all of my Lockdown Racing teammates. Outside of this league, obviously I compete in N-Pass, and we've been working really hard in that, and I think we're pretty close to being the top team in that. So just all of the hard work really pays off every week from all of those guys. Especially huge shout out to Matt Bontempi, David Rattler, Taylor Hurst. I mean, everybody, but those three are the main three that, do a lot of work every week. Everybody pitches in, but those three are the most notable in my opinion, including Zach. And also got to thank my supporter for this season and in past. They've carried over for this league and everything else that I'm running on iRacing with RacingVirginia.com. They've come on board with this Richmond esports program that we're trying to get off the ground, and I think it's going pretty good. So, if you aren't doing anything next weekend and you'd like to go spend some money, go down to Richmond Raceway and enjoy the 2 races, Friday and Saturday. But huge shout out to RacingVirginia.com, Richmond Raceway, Sim Seats, everyone that's, on my car. And once again, I got to give a huge shout out to my teammates as well as you guys for the broadcast and the league. Definitely one of the best leagues I've ever competed in on iRacing.
Well, we appreciate it. Good luck to you in the impasse. Hopefully you can come away with some wins there, or even possibly a championship in that series as well. And hopefully you're able to make it back with this next season with your, Lockdown Racing teammates, as I got that one right and I didn't mess you up and place you with someone else. And congratulations once again on the championship here. And go have some fun, celebrate.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, bud. Jimmy Mullis, like I said, did the walk-off here tonight. It's always great to come away with the race win and the championship in the same night. It's a double victory. And as he dominated here in fashion in the Hidespride.com Championship 200. That's pretty much going to wrap things up here tonight. We'll go ahead and pull up the Sim Auto Racing Association partners once more, so we can go ahead and give them some love, because without these guys, we say it over and over again, we say it for a reason. Without them, we cannot do this. We got the Tundra Super Late Models we watched here tonight, and Loco Toco Designs, who sponsored races and is presented as the presenting sponsor for this series. Midwest Power Source, Hidespride's Leather and Sheepskin, who sponsored here tonight. Callaway Investments sponsor our Street Stock series. Epic Media, our Insurance Options, Back 40 Wraps Inc., Down East Chassis Works, Old School Motorsports, Dr. Noise, we missed you, Bill, Area 52 Designs, Midwest Race Updates, and Dynamic Autosports. Go ahead and pull up the results here as well. One last time, I'll give you the rundown for the race results here tonight. Like I stated, Jimmy Mullis, first time Sim Auto Racing Association Super Late Model Series champion and winner here tonight. Second place, Matt Rolfe. Third, Zach Novak. Fourth, David Kikorian, who had a great season all around in all of our series. Congratulations to him in that. Fifth, Joe Schaefer Jr. Sixth, Tim Bills. Seventh, Jared Boris with a good run here tonight. Eighth, Ryan Matthews, which if I'm not mistaken, started dead last here tonight on the field and comes away with an 8th place finish. He's probably going to be your hard charger here. Ninth, Michael Goddard. Round out your top 10, the 05 car of Scott Austin. Like I said, that's going to wrap it up here for us tonight. Thanks again to Matt Rolfe for hosting all this, all our series sponsors that make this happen. I'd like to give a big shout out to Clay Snyder, who helps produce these things. This is what you're visually watching. We had a couple of issues here tonight. None of his doing, I promise you. That got us sharp as a dull tack. And of course, myself here doing the announcing part. Hopefully y'all come back with us in a few weeks as we will kick off another season of the SARA Super Late Model Series, where we see if Jimmy Mullis can go back-to-back as series champion, or if Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to have something to say about that. You may have to keep an eye out for Matt Rolfe, David Kikorian, Tim Bills, and others like them to see if they can come put their name at the top spot of this prestigious series. Like I stated, if you want to come and join this series, go to racesara.com, put your name in there. See if you got anything for these top guys. If you don't, like Matt stated, we could have a support series where you can work on your sets with guys, get a little bit faster, and before you know it, if you knock a couple wins out in that division, work your way up here into the main spotlight with the top guys on the iRacing Series service for super late models. That'll do it here tonight at Lanier Speedway for the Hidespride.com Championship. I'm Derek Robinson. We'll catch you in a few weeks. Until then, be cool.